As the anniversary of the Boston Marathon bombings approaches, there's a multitude of compelling storylines. Some are uplifting, like the ongoing recovery of the victims. Others are troubling, like the lingering questions about Tamerlan Tsarnaev's ties to a triple homicide in Waltham. Today, 2 new reports cleared the FBI in the killing of Ibrahim Todashev, a friend of Tsarnaev's who was being questioned about those murders. We'll delve into that story in a moment, but first, the bombings inspired the now ubiquitous phrase, Boston Strong. And while it helped convey the city's unity, it also turned into a lucrative marketing opportunity. WGBH News reporter Adam Reilly has our story.
After the Boston Marathon bombings, Nick Reynolds and Chris Dobbins wanted to help, but the 2 Emerson students weren't sure what to do.
We were, looking for a way to do something because we were on campus and everyone on campus didn't really have an idea what they should be doing.
So the duo put the phrase Boston Strong on T-shirts and started selling them, $20 each, with all proceeds going to charity. They hoped they could sell 1,000. Instead,
we've sold almost 65,000 T-shirts.
And donated nearly $1 million to the One Fund. In hindsight, their best move may have been picking a phrase that means different things to different people.
The victims in their recovery can be Boston Strong. The first responders can be Boston Strong. And then, the people in the UK that are buying our T-shirts can, in their own way, be Boston Strong.
But that also paved the way for more niche products, from Southie Strong T-shirts to patriotic baby bibs. And in one notable case, the One Fund also became a brand.
I was not surprised to see LL Bean give a call, and first of all with a cash donation right off the bat, and then with the One Fund tote.
That's One Fund treasurer Mike Sheehan praising LL Bean for making a special One Fund tote bag, with all profits going to charity.
The goodwill of people, the generosity of people in giving to the One Fund is unheard of.
And that made LL Bean look good, too. It's a concept known as cause marketing, and it's becoming the way many charities operate.
We fundamentally started to shift our idea of what charity is based on consumer principles.
Queens College professor Mara Einstein is the author of Compassion, Inc. She says that from the anti-AIDS RED campaign to Avon's crusade against breast cancer, cause marketing has been gaining momentum for years. Big brands look altruistic. Consumers feel noble and a bit less anxious.
Our sense of fear is so heightened that we're trying to find a way to manage it. And an easy way for us to manage it is to act on it. And an easy way to act on it is to do something like contribute to a campaign or buy a T-shirt.
The danger, Einstein adds, is that cause marketing can become more about the brand and less about the cause. But when that happens isn't always clear.
This is our city.
Last year, the Red Sox embraced the Boston Strong ethos throughout the season. That probably bolstered the Sox brand, but it also offered psychological benefits. And those Emerson students may have provided a branding boost of their own. Last year, a commencement speaker said Reynolds and Dobbins' success showed they were Emerson Strong, a phrase that isn't on a T-shirt yet. Mara Einstein, the academic that we spoke with, pointed out that this is a really big change in the way we think about charity. There was a time when there was a notion, fairly widespread, though not universal, that charity was better if it functioned discreetly or even anonymously. Now, instead, we're in this era where people are wearing their causes on their sleeves, literally, and the more people do that, the harder it is to imagine rolling back the clock.
Which also raises the question, isn't it possible people are more likely to give if they can show their peers and their friends they've given?
That's definitely one possibility. Another possibility, and this is a point made by Einstein, is that if you buy something like a Boston Strong T-shirt, you then wear it repeatedly. You remind yourself that you've already given, and you kind of mentally wash your hands of the issue in question. You check off the altruism box, and you become less engaged rather than more engaged. There was a study a few years back, I believe in the Journal of Consumer Psychology, which found that cause marketing actually makes people less charitable on balance rather than more so.
Thanks, Adam. Thoughtful report. So where's the line between rallying cry and product pitch? Jeff Friedman is the founder and CEO of Small Army, an ad agency based in Boston, one of its top ad agencies, after losing his business partner to cancer. Jeff launched Be Bold, Be Bald, a nonprofit that raises money for cancer charities. Welcome to Greater Boston, Jeff.
Thank you for having me.
The profits from some branded items, Boston Strong, don't go to the one fund. Is it really ethical for people to profit from tragedy in such a way?
I don't think it is. I think when tragedy happens, brands can either say, I want to help, or I want to gain money. And the ones that want to help are the ones that build real relationships with people. And the ones that say, I want to gain from this, are the ones that they get themselves in trouble, not only ethically, but with social media. People pick up on that pretty quickly, and it will hurt them. Aside from ethics, people pick up and it'll hurt them negatively.
I would think so. Let's bring in Rohit Deshpande. He's a professor of marketing at Harvard Business School. Welcome to Greater Boston.
Thank you very much.
Mira Einstein, the professor who was in Adam's setup, he says, too much cause marketing is opaque, and companies can't say what portion of profits they're giving to charity or cap their profits or their giving at a certain rate. Is that a valid critique, do you think?
I think it's partly valid. The emphasis here, I think, is so much so on the cause and the marketing by the cause. I think we need to balance that out with an emphasis on the person who's giving the money, the consumer, and how this makes that person feel. If giving money makes that person feel good, buying something, a brand that they can emblazon on themselves, it makes them part of that brand. The goodwill that's generated that translates to the consumer, I think that's all very, very good, and it's an important part of the equation that we frequently forget.
Let me ask you, either of you, from a marketing point of view, what does a company like LL Bean get out of cause marketing that they wouldn't get out of simply making a donation to that cause?
Well, I think just their constant affiliation with the brand One Fund. Now people are carrying around tote bags that let people know LL Bean did what they could for the One Fund versus a one-time donation, which is great, but it gets forgotten about pretty quickly.
Rohit, let me ask you this question. LL Bean, Adidas, Sam Adams, they all marketed special products after the marathon bombings and donated those profits to charity. Is that helping a good cause, or is it burnishing a brand name?
So I think it depends on how authentic that association is of the two different brands, the cause brand and, say, LL Bean. The extent to which LL Bean's brand is seen as being something that connects with this cause, it makes an awful lot of sense for them. They're co-leveraging both of those brands. If it is seen as being something that is not relevant to them, superficial perhaps, I think people see through it, and there's a backlash. Jeff mentioned social media. Technology allows consumers to protest these sorts of things and actually shut their pocketbooks and not purchase from whoever.
If consumers want to help a cause, what's a more efficient way of giving? To buy a product from a company that donates a portion of its profits to that cause, or simply to make a donation?
Well, I think both have benefits. I mean, if you can give money to the cause, that's one way. 100% of that goes, sure. If you buy something and a portion of it, I probably wouldn't do that. I mean, if 100% of the profit goes. But I think, as Ro was saying, people want to have that affiliation with the brand. They feel proud to let people know that they contributed to the One Fund, or they contributed and were part of Boston Strong. And I think that's a feel-good for consumers.
Can you give some examples of companies that crossed the line?
That crossed the line. I'm trying to think of, I think one that did it well was 47 brand. I know after the Boston Marathon bombings, we actually had an employee who was injured in the bombings. And after that, we bought about 50 Boston Strong hats from 47 brand and gave them out to employees and clients. And I think, at least in that case, what we hear is 100% of the profits did go to the One Fund. I think that's one that did it fairly well.
All right. Rohit Deshpande, Jeff Freeman, thank you very much for joining us on Greater Boston.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.